Hi, Grandma Bev here from Life with Grandma Bev, and welcome to my channel. Now, during this month of January, I'm trying to do a lot of my travel videos because this is the prime time for you to start booking your cruises and or other kind of travel arrangements. It's always in, well, January, February, March. It's getting kind of iffy, but especially like for 2024. Now, we're already thinking of 2024. We've had our 2023 cruise booked for a couple of years because it kept getting moved during the big sea. But today, I'm going to do a review on the Viking Jupiter cruise ship that we did at the end of September, early October. Now, this was our first Viking trip, and this was, of course, my husband and I. And we're sharing our thoughts on our experience. Now, this is our opinion. Oops. Strictly our opinion, okay? You don't need to jump on us if you don't agree with us. It's our opinion. No reason to put us down or anything like that. I should tell you, we're both in our early 70s, so, we're about the right age group to fit on those ships. I mean, we fit on them, but, as far as the age groups. There's no children, which is a plus. No casino, which is a plus. You don't have that stinky cigarette smell casino, and we don't gamble anyway. So, this ship sounded like it was going to be the perfect ship for us. So I'm going to start. My husband did a big review on it for a popular website, and I printed it out, and I'm going to read a lot of what he says. And what he did was he talked about, like, this first one's going to be the ship and the cabins. And at the end of it, we'll give it a grade, just like when we were in school. So let's get started. Remember, our thoughts and opinions. Number one, the ship and cabins. The ship was beautiful. Have no complaints about the ship itself. The size was nice. There was only, like 900 something people or whatever it is, so it was really roomy. We had many days at sea. Didn't plan on that many, but I'll get into why. So, we spent a lot of time on the ship. The elevator, never had problems with the elevators. I mean, you'd walk right up to it and the door would just about open after you push the button and get right on. Maybe you'd have a couple of people on, but it was never crowded. I mean, I never really had to use the stairs instead of the elevator to get anywhere. We had a penthouse veranda cabin. It was roomy and comfortable. When we first got to the cabin, the bed felt a little hard, the mattress, but we got used to it. It just, we found it very comfortable. It had a very nice, the bathroom was nice, and the shower had plenty of room and water pressure. I'm a big one for water pressure because of my hair. The only negative was the storage space. It only had like one closet with like about this much hanging space. It had plenty of drawers and stuff, but, some things you want to hang up, and there just wasn't a lot of storage for that. But, yeah, we made do. We always do. So what did we rate the ship and cabins? We gave it an A. Surprised? Okay, number two was the staff and service. Everybody was just so friendly. The service was impeccable. We cannot complain in any way about the staff or the service. So that we're giving a A. Now, we didn't ever meet our steward. It's like he just didn't want to bother us. I mean, that's a good thing. We knew he was around because our cabin was always kept spotlessly cleaned up. So we could have made an effort to introduce ourselves, but that's just not us. Okay, now we want number three. I've got to get to the page that has number three. Number three, the food. Now, this is tricky for us because I am not a foodie. I am very picky. Not because I don't like stuff, but because I got a lot of issues and all that kind of stuff. So I have to be really careful on the spice level and that kind of stuff, and some of the types of food. So that's a very subjective area. Now, Bob, he could eat anything. He loved the food. We especially liked Manfredi's, which was the Italian restaurant, and we had made reservations 2 different nights. The only problem with the restaurant was we couldn't add more people to our table, like my brother and his wife. You had to wait to get on to add people, and we couldn't add them on. And they never were able to eat in that restaurant because they just never had any vacancies, except like maybe 9 at night. And how many of us old people can eat at late at night? So let's see. The restaurant was very good. Some that were just okay, but all in all, I thought that they were very good. He liked most of it too. One night we had to wait, but we finally got our food and it was very good. We ate breakfast every morning in the World Cafe, which is like the buffet. I never had any problems with it. Yeah, they had always the same thing, but I'm the kind of person, I'll eat the same thing every day. If I find something I like, I'll eat the same thing. Bob would have liked a little bit more variety. The thing they did have difference was the donuts. That was different every day. Yeah, and he didn't like the taste of the sausage at all, which is unusual for him. It was flavorless and had a strange texture, and it was the same sausage every morning. He was disappointed in the bacon. It was very meaty and overcooked. Says for some people this may have been fine, but it wasn't to his taste. I only eat oatmeal, so I'd go get my oatmeal. They had little containers. I could add like little almonds to it, a couple of things. So I had my oatmeal, a banana, because I eat a banana every day, and some kind of a donut. So I was happy. And then we either ate lunch at the grill. There was a grill up adjacent to, is that the pool? The pool, I guess. Yeah. I don't remember because I never went in the pool. And they had really good hamburgers, sausage, Polish sausage, all kinds of that kind of stuff. Hamburgers, hot dogs, Polish sausage, And we ate there several times. I liked the pasta station, and we loved the gelato station. There's a pasta station down at the end, and I liked that because I love pasta. And, this is a smaller ship than we have usually sailed on in the past. It's always been all the big megas. We can understand that they can't prepare the type of spreads and have the variety found on larger ships, but we still gave it a B, so that's not bad. Now let's see, what's my number 4? 4 were the flights and transfers. Now we usually do our own arrangements for flights and transfers and stuff. Sometimes we just use the cruise transfers to get, from the airport to the ship, or just depends, always depends. And this time we did it through Viking because we had a lot of credit on the books from cruises that had been canceled. Our cruise had been canceled so many times, and then of course whenever it was canceled, we got 100%, 125% credit to go on our accounts. So we did this to use up all the credit we had. Of course, they had high airfares through Viking. Usually we find through the cruise lines we get better airfare, but who knows. The flight worked out well, though, and the transfers were exceptional. There were Viking crew all over the airport in Bergen because we flew to Bergen, Norway, and got on the ship there and then ended in Barcelona. So they were all over the airport to assure an easy transfer and departure transfer. It was very impressive. So we gave a grade A to that. Number 5. The entertainment. Now you'll notice from this point the grades start dropping. Now like I say, we're in our 70s, but we still like a lot of the music from the 70s, 80s, 90s, some of that stuff. And they didn't really have a lot of entertainment. Now, we're not that big into the entertainment. There was one night when they had a NABA. That was fun. That was great. And the Beatles, that was good. And then the last night they had a decades one from the different decades. It was so funny and fun to watch people in the audience get into the different music. And when it ended, everybody's walking along, you like want to dance. And that was fun, you know. But as far as the outlying venues, they had a guy who played the guitar. And while he was very good, same thing every night, playing his guitar, you know. And down in the, what do you call it? That thing in the middle, you know. They always had these two gals playing violins. And we like violins, but we don't want to hear it every day. We want to hear some of the fun, peppy music too. And one guy who is a musician said that he could tell they were not really happy with what they were doing because of the way they played. So I guess he would know. So, like I say, the guitarist. Oh, the atrium, that's the main part. But, you know, this ship, in all fairness, it does tend to cater to exploration, you know, where you can go in and listen to talks on different things, but that's not as either. In the evening, we like to go and listen to some of the pop music and stuff, and a little bit more interesting entertainment. So we had to give the entertainment a get to the right page. Like I say, it was a little dull. It was a letdown. A lot of classical music kind of stuff. And that's just not us. And some people love that. Let's see, that's... Where did it go? We gave that a... yeah, it seemed very stuffy, as Bob said. Crowd went wild during the Decades show with the music from 50s, 60s, 70s, which tells us that being the age of the passengers, most would have appreciated a more lively band playing rock and roll. You know, how about bringing a comedian on board? You know, so we gave it a C+. Number 6, the Excursions. Now, with Viking, there's an included excursion in every port you stop at. So we did some of the included ones, and then we paid extra for some of the others. Now, one disappointment was we were supposed to go into Le Havre, France, and then from there we were going to be bussed up to Paris. Now, we haven't been to Paris yet. All the traveling we've done in Europe, we still haven't made it to Paris. So we thought, well, this would be a good chance to just kind of get an oversee of Paris to know if we want to go back and, you know, see more of it. That was the day there was a pilot strike. It was a pilot, you know, the workers in the docks, a dock strike. So we couldn't go in. So that was an extra day at sea. So, you know, those days are relaxing, yeah, and we find things to do, keep ourselves occupied, but it was disappointing. The weather wasn't the greatest either. It did rain on several of the days, you know, especially the last day. We went up to the Montserrat, you know, I started saying mortuary. The Montserrat up in the hills above Barcelona, and it poured, but it wasn't going to stop us. It was one of the included tours, and oh, if you have a chance to go up and see the Montserrat Monastery, you've got to. So, another one was canceled because the ship was arrived in Falmouth, England, too late. So that was disappointing. Now, my husband goes into describing each of the excursions, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go and explain them all. But the grade we gave was a D+. Ooh. Ooh. So let's see, make sure I don't... I know I don't seem very organized, but that's just me, because I forget a lot. Okay, number 7 was the internet and the Viking app, you know, on our cell phone. Now, the internet is something that most cruise lines struggle with, but we've been on some that worked pretty darn good. And people say, well, why do you care how the internet is if you're on vacation? Well, there's a lot of people like me. I do videos. I want to upload things, that are happening so I can remember them more freshly in my mind. There's some people who maybe they work from home so they can still go on a trip, but they need to take some hours to do some work. So there are people who need it, and we don't mind paying more for the better internet. But this one wasn't very good. It was very slow and at times unusable. As far as the Viking app, we believe it's a mistake to only allow it to be used while using Viking's internet. We wanted to check something on the schedule one day while off the ship, only to find we couldn't do that. Why? I mean, we could do that on other ships. I mean, you want to see what time is the next thing we're going to, or, what's actually on tomorrow. So that was the only one we gave an F to. So in summary, I'll read what he wrote. He writes things a lot better, puts a lot of thought into it. Regardless of some of the negatives covered above, we had a very nice experience on our first Viking ocean cruise. The question for us is whether or not we would sail with Viking again. We have to balance the beautiful small ship experience and impeccable service that Viking offers with the fares they charge. We found the food to be good but not exceptional. Now, I gotta butt in here on a lot of the cruise lines seem to be struggling with their food since the big C. A lot of the supply chain, getting people back working on there, all that kind of stuff. It just seems like they're all having problems. The entertainment was lacking, and even though excursions were included, we didn't find the included excursions that compelling. So you can understand why some people love Viking, but for us, it's probably a one and done. Because, you do pay a lot more for it. We'd like it to be worth it. we maybe our expectations were too high, but who knows? We may go on one again. You never know. The things Viking does very well does not justify for us the fares charged when including those areas we feel we're lacking. We do not mind paying higher fares when we feel we are getting what we paid for, and we hope to try other smaller ship cruise lines in the future. So that kind of wraps it up. We were so looking forward to going on Viking, Like I say, the ship was great, the service, the people working were great. I loved the buffet. But it was that entertainment that really kind of got us down. We expected more. And the excursions. So much of the excursions was a lot of walking. And for us old folks, sometimes that's kind of hard. Oh, you see my little necklace? So, I don't know. You may see us on here again doing another Viking ship at some time and just loving it. So that will do it. Please comment below and keep it nice. Share, like, and subscribe. And I hope you're all having a good time. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments. And I hope you're having a good start of the new year. I love you all. Bye.